Spotlight. I'm your host, Amitha. Join us weekly to get inspired by guests who will share their success stories. Our guest today wears multiple hats outside the traditional South Asian female role. She has an interesting journey from fashion designer to actor. Let us welcome to our show Miss Rohini Bir. Thank you for being part of our show today.
Thanks for having me.
So, we want to delve into what's happening right now with film that is receiving multiple accolades. But let's first start off by asking you a little bit about your growing up and your education.
So, firstly, I'm honored to be on your show and thanks for the kind words. I grew up in Mumbai and growing up in the 70s was quite an experience and nothing like what things are today. So back then things were pretty chilled out and education was easier than what it is now. But generally, I had a very creative childhood where my parents just made sure I was, since they discovered I was artistically inclined, so they just uh, let me continue that as a hobby.
Nice.
And I went to college, not the regular degrees, but I went to the PV Polytechnic where I studied fashion design. And then I studied fashion in London Central School of Fashion, after which I took it up as a career full time. And I've had good 20 working years in the garment export industry. And but last 6 7 years is when I've been here in Canada, and I haven't been able to take on my career in garment designing forward. And I chose an alternate career and decided to get into acting and modeling since it was a childhood passion growing up, and in college I did a couple commercials. So that interest and passion was still there. So since I had this opportunity to start again, I just thought, why not acting and modeling? So here I am.
Well, absolutely. You have such amazing presence on screen that we can see, and your fashion statement, speaks for itself. So it's great that you have been a fashion designer and now you're an actor, and I'm pretty sure the two worlds can come together. Maybe you have something like that in the future for you. I'm sure whatever you put your heart and mind to, you can achieve. I'm just going to go back a little bit. So this is amazing that your parents, and this is not very typical about South Asian families where they do encourage their children to go outside the traditional professions. So this is great to know that you have had support from the family. And so I have a question: what actually brought you to Canada, from where you were already established as a fashion designer to here?
Yeah, this is a very, very unusual story because, living in the metropolitan areas of Mumbai, and then later when I got married in Delhi, my husband's from Delhi. So I couldn't foresee us living in the busy metropolitan areas or in the busy cities long term as we were planning our retirement. We explored a lot of places, even in India or smaller towns, where we could have a more quieter life. So uh, we didn't come across anything that was close to how we would want to live. So then this option of moving to Canada came in, and which we thought was great for our children because future going forward, they have a brighter future, they can have a future here, and we have a quieter life, so it was win-win for everyone. So that's when we started our journey, or the thought process, and then the paperwork of coming to Canada. And a lot of people were surprised at how we are planning to move at such a later stage in life, and when you have everything settled, and everything going good for you back there. But our criteria was to opt for a more quieter and simpler life, away from the buzz. So we like it here.
Amazing. Well, we are glad that you're here, and it's so inspirational to know that you made that move despite, certain expectations based on where you are at in life, where you were well settled, but your heart was telling you something else, and you went for it. And so we are glad that you're in Canada and you're making waves here in Canada as an actor, and we're going to get to hear about the film Mixed Up that is receiving great reviews across the different film festivals. So we want to get to it, but before that, it's time for a short break. Welcome back to Spotlight. We are talking to fashion designer turned actor model, Miss Rohini Bir. So we heard about the interesting journey you have had, which is quite inspiring for a lot of us who sometimes fear to make a transition when it's later on in life. So this is awesome, Rohini. Now tell us about the acting part of your journey.
So I took up my childhood passion basically to register myself or as a model, and I became an actor accidentally because what I was getting offered was little film roles, and then I decided that I should educate myself, since I see there being a niche for my kind of age group and my ethnicity. So I took some acting classes, and by then this film Mixed Up came up, and I auditioned and got the part, and it was an amazing experience. And the movie started as a theater play actually, and uh, th- it got converted to a movie because of the COVID situation.
Hmm.
So we were rehearsing online on Zoom with the other actors, but when the director Nishi Chawla, she discovered that the COVID situation is not really going away and we are not having people in the theaters anytime soon, she decided to turn it into a movie, and it just turned out such a beautiful movie.
Amazing. So the COVID pandemic lockdown was really a blessing in disguise for your whole team, which is great for us as well. So now we know how you ended up with this amazing movie, Mixed Up. Tell us a little bit more about what the viewers can expect when they get to watch it.
So, what the viewers will see will be uh, literally a mixed up situation or mixed up of relationships, but it is actually a story about interracial love. So, I am playing the mother, Sheila, as a South Asian mother of a doctor's son who is living in the USA and is in love with a white girl. So,
Hmm.
as a mother, I am not encouraging my son to get married to a white girl. And I'm telling him that I will find you an Indian girl. Give me a year and I'll find you a beautiful girl. So in the USA, the white girl's mother is also prejudiced, where she doesn't want her white daughter to be married to a colored or Asian, even though he's a doctor, well qualified, and may not be able to get equally qualified in their own race or in their own community, because she's against the mixed marriage thing. So this is where the story moves forward, where there are other characters, the sister of this girl, and the parents are involved, and it goes to another generation, and it is quite a mixed up love story, I must say. But it is generally for a niche audience. uh, the language is amazing because it is written by this amazing writer Nishi Chawla herself, and it goes through and explores into a lot of interesting conversations that I'm having with my son on the phone, where he is telling me that her whiteness, he's in love with Bethany, so is her whiteness her only disqualifier? So which is quite a striking uh, dialogue, where to even say that today nobody thinks that whiteness can be a disqualifier. And going forward, there are a couple of very strong dialogues where me as a mother are talking about that these Gora log only think of us as foreign trash. And we as Hindus have our own sense of culture, and why should we cross pollinate? So these are some very strong and nice dialogues which you can expect in the movie from me. But other than that, I would suggest people to watch this movie as and as a taking forward, as thinking forward, why racial discriminations should not be an issue.
Great. This is a timeless topic, really, and also very relevant in this day and age when we're hearing about a lot of incidences that are racially motivated. So it's such a great topic of the times, and yet it's also a timeless topic. It's I have a question for you. Very interesting. You're playing the role of mother, the character Sheila. Now we also heard you're a mother yourself in real life. Uh, were you similar to the character? Like, how could you relate to the character on the was the character really different from the real Rohini?
Yes, completely. Because as in today's day and age, I cannot imagine my child, being being controlled by a mother who is so or of the thought that the son should only marry within the race. So today my daughter is free to marry anybody from from whichever community or whichever race she prefers, as long as the other person is keeping her happy, or they are looking for a good life. But growing up in the 70s, I have seen how important it was for women to be married into the same caste and same culture, even though they had unhappy marriages or had, very suffocating relationships with their husband, but they were made or forced to be in that marriage. So as we have evolved and having seen those situations, we don't think similarly for our children. However, the pressure to marry within the community for South Asians is still very real.
So this is great, Rohini. So you've talked about how the character Sheila may have been how the in the 70s people used to think about, but it shouldn't be that way in this day and age. So this is a great message that the movie is putting out. So we have more to talk to Rohini, but before that, it's time for a short break. Welcome back to Spotlight. We are talking to fashion designer turned actor model, Miss Rohini Bir. So, Rohini, this is great. So, we heard about Mixed Up and we look forward to getting more information as to where all our viewers can watch it. Now, I'm going to turn to you as an artist in general because you're an actor, a model, a fashion designer. Like I mentioned, you might bring that into your acting and your modeling, which we can already see with your on screen presence. What do you see yourself doing as an artist in the future, your long term vision?
Um, my long-term vision obviously is to continue my acting career, since it is looking like it is going to probably work. But I still need to do a lot of work on my acting skills as such, because I'm really new, and to be a good actor takes a lot of work. So I realize this as I'm going forward, and understanding more about the skills that you need and to develop. So my first step now is to just develop my skills. And also, the good thing is that since there is a niche for my kind of ethnicity and age, I have signed a movie with Netflix, and I have signed another short film playing the role of a mom. So which I'm looking forward to, and it is very motivating when you have made a little mark and a little taken a little baby step forward. So I hope that something this works out for me. So other than that, I am creatively inclined, and since my parents had probably obviously discovered that I was good with my hands, even as a child. So I continue to pursue little hobbies on my cooking skills, or painting skills and reading skills. So that kind of helps me keep that artistic bent intact, or around me surrounded by art. So that's
That's
how I.
amazing. No, that is so amazing. You're so well rounded. But it's quite interesting that you have such a full plate and you're still going after your goals. And this is something a lot of us, aspire towards. Like, what is your secret? What are the challenges you come across when you do that?
Yeah, I do agree. A lot of people find it hard to go where their heart takes them, but yeah, you have to be a little risk averse, wherein you have to take the plunge if you want something so much. Then you just go for it, and just make it happen. There's hard work in everything, but you have to have that passion to make it happen. So when you really want something and you're so passionate about something, you will just make it work. There is no question of not succeeding when you want to. I mean, how
That's
much
very
you
well said.
succeed is totally up to how much work you put in, but you will.
That's very well said. And I guess success is defined differently by different people. So it all depends on where you want to be with that term success. And I mean, you're a shining example of that. It's like when you all mentioned previously when you decided to move to Canada, and people were like, why would you do that when you're already settled in life? But you went after it. So it has to start from within, like you mentioned. And it's about not being afraid to go after it, even though you're sometimes society puts you within that box of expectations that you're supposed to do certain things at certain times in life. So
Absolutely.
hats off to you, Rohini.
Sure.
And I have a question for you. Probably the answer is already obvious because it's you have come this far and you're pursuing your goals. But like we heard, you're a mom, so you do have a family. How does your family play a role in all that you do?
Yeah, absolutely right. The family support is really, really important. Unless they are behind you and motivating you and standing by you, it just doesn't happen. So I have an amazing husband. He just is so supportive of everything I do, and I have two beautiful daughters, and both are grown up and educated, and they are so proud of me that that I haven't been one of those moms who just retired and sat back. But yes, I definitely agree that without the family support, you cannot be anywhere. There was a time when my family, my girls didn't want to move to Canada. They said, we're doing fine here. But today they are thankful we did.
Which is great. You're such a great role model for your daughters, and which is what we need, especially for women. I mean, things are getting better, but having a role model in a mother is such a great experience. So, once again, Rohini, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. You've inspired me and our viewers so much today by just sharing your journey, and we are so happy for your movie Mixed Up. And we are so excited to hear that you've also signed on to other projects, including one on Netflix. So, again, once again, congratulations to you.
Thank you so much for having
Do
me.
you do you have any final words, tip, or an advice for our viewers who aspire to be like you? Those viewers who are, fearful of taking that step towards their goal because they think it's too late.
For me, I'm going to pick it up from your lines, follow your heart,
Yeah.
if
Thank you
you
very
can.
much. Thank you very much, Rohini. We wish you all the best.
Thank you for having me.
That was Miss Rohini Bir, who has inspired us today to follow our heart. Well, that's a wrap for this week's show. Thank you for watching us. Continue to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Write to us at spotlight@ethnicchannels.com. Until next week, this is Amitha signing off, encouraging you to explore your hidden talent.